Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother. Smack at it. Bye-ya. Guard. Bye-ya. Guard. Bye-ya. I don't even know where he's at this morning. Trip out. Probably getting some coffee. Chanate. A little bit of... Well, you just go there, Wood. Sprinkle you in. Now, Trip Out, as you can tell, in a menudo style in direct fashion by that thumbnail, oh my gosh, right? It looks like George done did it this time. Selling out, man, slowly but surely. I seen it coming. You know, Spencer on la tira, I have a pain in my chest and I can't breathe. Well, messing with the wrong ones, you just might have that, George, because see what it looks like and what I've seen and what happened to come across my feed is that George Lopez has decided that if for no other reason, he's too good for the for the gente. Now, I don't understand how this man feels that he has become bigger than the people that he rocks with. You know, you can only be what you are. Spencer la tira, ta feo. You know what I mean? You're ugly. And you were born brown, homeboy. And at the end of the day, that's just what it's going to be. Now, for those of you that didn't catch it, George Lopez, it seems that over time, he has become one of those individuals known to sell out. Okay, now I know he sells out every stadium. We understand that. But at the same time, in a menudo style in direct fashion, he also sells out his people. Okay, when you have an individual that's Chicano, that's brown, that's really opening doors, that's really making a move in Bollywood, right? He's really doing the Hollywood thing. We're proud of him. We're proud of what we got. We don't got much. I said, you know, we don't got a president. Barely got any governors, right? But we got a couple comedians, you know, and the comedians, it goes all the way back to Chich Marin, you know, one of the first Chicano comedians, and there were several others before him, but Spencer la tira, I'm speaking from my, you know, what I know. He established them roots, that heritage, you know, and then along came other ones, but Paul Rodriguez and several others, but boom, bang, bibbidi boop, boop, boop. All of a sudden, there was George Lopez. He took over the 2000s. We watched him. Hey, it makes you feel good to be a Chicano. He spoke to our hearts because he talked about things that were truth. Things that we actually lived. You know, I don't know about you, but a lot of the things he said rang true in my family and in my household. Cucarachas y todo, right? So when watching him, I felt, you know, enraptured and empowered. I felt like, damn, finally we got us one, bro. We got us a real one. I mean, he went out there to the lowrider beat and he did his thing. Okay, now for several years, he had the comedian game on lock. Hey, and righteously so, rightfully so. He deserved it because he was doing his thing. Now, over time, it became redundant, and it became the same old love song. It became repetitive. He was just talking about the same old stuff. And after a while, once you done heard it, you done heard it. You know, it's kind of like my stuff. Bang, bang. Oh, God, you say that in every video. God, you say that in every video. You like it, though. You like it. Still this shit right now. Keep it real. But I took a lot of my comedic stuff that I do from George Lopez. I ain't gonna hate and I ain't gonna lie. Did I bite it? Nah, I don't bite nothing. I don't get down like that, right? But one thing I did was I was heavily influenced by what he brought to the people. So I continue it myself, and there's so many other comedians that really get down and really know how to do it. Now, I ain't no comic, right? But I can get funny, and I can also get serious. And this is a serious matter. And what happens is when you're looked at as a trophy or you're looked at as someone for our people that is doing it, man, we expect better. We expect you to carry yourself with some type of professionalism, charisma, and we expect you to keep it pumping for the people. Now, you're not obligated to do nada for no one else, and that's period, plain and simple. Just like I'm not obligated right here on YouTube to help anyone, right? Especially a teleporter. But at the end of the day, you know, it's what's righteous. It's what's right. You know, it's what's right. There's wrong and there's right. And sometimes you got to be wrong to be right. Read between them. And I say that 3 times. I say right. But this individual, George Lopez, you know, is admired by many. But if you really watch the man that he has truly become, he leaves a sour taste in your mouth. You get a distaste for this dude. Why? Because he's not representing the raza the way he should. Or the way he could. Okay? He's not obligated to do nada, Holmes. You ain't got nothing coming. I ain't got nothing coming. We're just brown people. We just got to get up every morning and work for ours. Strive and struggle for what we truly believe in. And he's going to do the same. But when you make your way in Hollywood, when you've opened doors, when you're accepted by a society of people that usually don't accept a brown man, well, look at it, let me tell you what you do. And you keep it rocking, but you can't come in, right? You keep doing what you do for your gente. Never sell out, never forget where you come from. See, I come from food stamps, homeboy. The paper kinds. I come from Top Ramen. I come from Tracy Prison, that's it, right? I come from a struggle like no other. I come from sitting in a cell for 30 days with nothing in there but 2 sopas and some toothpaste. So I was kidding. Guess what I had for lunch? Okay, when you come from that type of, background and that type of struggle, then the little things mean more to you than anything. Now, this guy, according to him, he comes from that struggle. Maybe not necessarily the joint, the pen, because he never went that route. But he comes from not having much. He comes from nothing, from the ghetto, from the gutter, from the barrio. And all of a sudden, after you get a little bit of money, feria. And then it's, oh, hell no, right? He can't, he's above reproach. No, don't get at me, but then you're over there, you're still struggling. Keep struggling while I'm over here doing my thing, mean muggling. I'm glad Conejo chopped your head and your hands off in the tax collector, I said. Because everything that you've never wanted to become, you have became. Oh, Eric Estrada, he's selling swampland to our people. Orale, you bought it all. I said, now you're trying to redistribute it out. You have become what you hated. Okay? You don't empower the people no more. When we see you, we don't think, oh, look at, orale, there's a fucking Chicano right there. There's a real one, right? We don't think that anymore. You know what we think? Mira este feo. Look at this baboso. Big on nariz con drogas y todo. I'm like, That's what we think. Guard! I don't care what you think. I know what oh, you got your coffee. Now you're the one, huh? Sprinkle your in, brother. Sprinkle them in, brother. Now look, I was watching something that came up on my feed, and he was having an interview or doing a podcast with some cat, and the guy mentioned another comedian, a young and up-and-coming comedian. And instead of this guy saying, he might not have known him. He might not know everyone, man. He might be out of the loop. He's too busy over there with the white women doing his thing. More power to him. If that's what floats his boat, I said, don't say kiss battleship, right? But in the beginning of the conversation, the guy's like, yeah, there's an upcoming comic, this and that. Mr. Barbosa mentioned his name. And this vato had the audacity to say, man, who's that? Jealous. Real talk, right? Who's that? He said, that vato's a nobody. I don't even know who that vato is. Now, first and foremost, that's raza. Have you noticed how we tear our own selves down? It's repetitive, man. It's something that's always happened throughout the history and the course of man. Our own people tear our own people down. That's always been our obstacle, gente. It's always been brown on brown. Whether it's north and south, whether it's barrio to barrio, whether it's tortillana to tortillana, buzz down, tortillana, buzz down. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's always our own people bringing our own people back. Oh, I'm the king of Chicano rap, or I'm the king of comedy, or I'm this, I'm that. Okay, well, there's room for everyone. Let's say everyone could eat if everyone didn't always try to compete. That's one rule that I've learned a long time ago, but something I've seen my whole life. There's always a competition there, and it seems like our own people tear our own people down. So what's new, you say? George is just going with the flow. But he's not. He's constantly and throughout the last several years sold out. He don't even acknowledge his people anymore. When he sees young up-and-coming comics or rappers or people in the game, actors, making waves, doing things, instead of saying, orale, Holmes, come on in. Now he shuts the door on him. See, he wants to be that one ugly one too. Right? He wants to be that one that holds it down, that could say, hey, I started this. Is this the thanks I get? Well, you don't get thanks if you start something and you don't continue it for the people. See, myself here on YouTube, I'm known to open doors for gente. If the raza gets at me you got to get at me professionally, respectfully. But if they get at me in a certain way and they're like, hey, Holmes, I need help. I'm starting a channel, boop, 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 then I tend to help them or do the most I can. I ain't the one. I say, I am not the one. I never claimed to be the one. Although heavy is the head that wears the crown. I am not him, but I will do what I can to help you to the best of my abilities and the best of my knowledge, because I'm brown and I'm proud of my brown people. See, I wouldn't be here without my people before me. We have a beautiful culture, but the most ugly hearts. You know, we're with warriors. We're infused by warriors. Oh, hell no. But what we're also infused with is a hate, a hatred for people that, the misunderstandings of other people, or a hatred for people that we don't identify with or rock with that look just like us. Tortillas and frijoles. Oh my, right? It's just what it is. You know, everybody likes frijoles and tortillas. If you don't, pensa latina. You know what I mean? Wrong one here. Now this guy enraptured us in the fact that he told us our story. For several years, we spent our hard-earned money to watch this guy. For several years, La Raza had him a champion. An ugly one, but we had us a champion. For many years, we were like, okay, finally we're on the map. This guy did it. He broke the barriers down. How this ugly brown mother broke the barriers down, I don't know, but he did that, right? And how he spoke to our hearts was he identified just like us. I didn't see much difference. I used to watch his comedy and I used to be like, man, Devato's telling the truth. I got a tia con tawanga. You know what I mean? Thinking she's all bad. And then he told about his abuelita and I was like, shh, my grandma was, you think you were cold? I'm going to tell you a few stories about my grandmother in the future that'll blow your mind. That had that about the saying, oh, hell no, right? You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Straight up. A lot of these things that he said, I utilize to this day in a lot of my comedy just because, not that I looked up to this guy, but I respected him as a brown man doing brown things. But he's sold out, gente. He is truly this time sold out. He is no longer considered to me, you know, he'll always be brown and ugly, you know what I mean? But he's no longer considered, you know, someone I look up to or someone that I admire. And that's just based on how he's trying to hold other people down. See, when you go Hollywood and you make it, you made it. That's it. You made it by your hard work, by the sweat of your brow, by what you've done, by the moves you made, and you just were at the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the right time. Whatever the case may be, you did that. No one can take that from you. But that doesn't mean shut the door behind you. Hey, it's cold outside. Let's just close the door behind you. Pensa, I got 100,000 more Chicanos trying to get in. Brown people. People that need that boost, that push, some help. You know, everybody needs help at one point in their life. And it's up to us as our people to help each other and assist. The Africano brothers, they do it. I didn't Richard Pryor. Remember, Richard Pryor. What would I do without Richard Pryor? Yeah? Well, guess what? Richard Pryor don't give a shit about you, right? It's up to you to help your own people. Now, I'm not saying hate other people. No, that ain't the get down. It's black and brown, homeboy. It's black and brown. Brothers and Latinos united, divided we right. You know what I mean? That's how it is. Sprinkle the what, brother? I thought we were in. Sprinkle the Woods in. Guard! They're not in. Okay, so this is how it's going to be, and this is how it's been. We need to help our own. Now, I remember this story. Orale, I don't like Eric Estrada from Chips because when I was a kid, he didn't like me and all kinds of stuff, right? And this guy said Eric Estrada was a sellout. He was manipulating his people into buying swampland. And everything he said about this man, he became. He turned into him. Other than Chips. They should do a remake of Chips with George Lopez. Oh my gosh, right? All ugly and stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, it'll be the ugly version. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this man has become what he constantly hated. And that's what a lot of people become. They talk derogatory, and they talk bad about a lot of people, and then they become them. They get Hollywood. They get, I don't want to say whitewashed, but if they say Sprinkle the Woods, brother, I'm not disrespecting, but they become whitewashed, right? They become cleansed, purity. They become, you know, where they think that they're better than everyone else. And that ain't cool, man. Everyone goes through their trials and tribulations. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. Mira, este vato en la yarda, he was a, you know what I mean? To a big old Africano out there too. You can call on Tyrone. That's over there doing bad things. Now, look, one thing I know is for sure, when I watched this podcast and I seen this clip, I was very hurt, man. Because someone that I admired and looked up to, and someone I was like, hey, you know what? This guy right here is our reality, man. This guy is the one that's going to, you know, continue this, carrying this torch for us. He done blew that motherfucker out. Blew it out. He don't want no one to get warm, homeboy. He don't want no one to get no feria. He don't want no one to come up. Now, there's a lot of young comics, Mexicanos, Chicanos, Latinos, oh my, Cali, man, right? There's a lot of brown people that are doing it, that need to be looked at and say, hey, Pensa Latina, we got us one, right? But this is the type of individual with hate in his heart. Oh, only I did it. He wants everyone to know I did it first. I did it. Who cares who does it first? That's it. Who does it last? It ain't where you've been. That's it's where you're at. You know? And where he's at is went through the war, going to a big chunky white girl that didn't want him. Then he could do the cocaine. Allegedly. I ain't just saying too much. Allegedly. Now, look, one thing I know for sure is when this guy, the way he looked, the distaste in his face, and the face that he made, I'll never forget when he was like, who's that? I don't know that, Vato. Who cares who you know, Wesley? Who cares? If it's a brown man that's struggling or a brown man that's trying to get in the industry, it's up to you as being the only one of our people that has really made it to open up the door. Open it up. Hey, Vato, I'm trying to get in. It's cold out here. There ain't no but white guys over here. Sprinkle them in. Can I come in? Because I think they're going to do something bad to me. Oh my gosh. No, he ain't trying to let anyone in because guess what? There's another one on the other side of the door. He has become everything that he said he wouldn't. He has sold out to our people. Now, I know to other people that don't care and, oh, that's racial. I'm not playing. We're not playing racial things either over here. That's not the get down. We're being real. You only have each other. I've said it plenty of times. That's why my whole get down is bringing everyone together. I don't care if you gangbang. I don't care if you're dedicated to a cause and an organization or a group or whatever you want to be dedicated to. Ponle. Handle it, homes. That's part of our traditions and our cultura as well. But don't keep the next man down, homes, out of hatred and out of hate. Because you think you're better than someone. Because, hey, guess what? But you're not. We're all the same, homeboy. Some might be from a different team that they hit better home runs and they're a little deeper, right? They put you in the sleeper. Orale, you seen it. Heartbeats like the homeboy creeper, right? I'm just saying. But when I watch that movie, Now Tax Collector, I take a different meaning from it. I'm like, God darn, I'm happy they cut your head and your hands off. Puta. Just, you know, say that one 3 times fast. That's it. Get down, spider. Get up, Chucky. Right? We have traditions. We have cultures. We have our movies. We have our comedy. He was one of ours. He's no longer one of ours. He's one of theirs now. He has become an obstacle. Now comedians that are coming up in the game can't look to him like he looked to Richard Pryor. Like he looked to Richard Pryor for acknowledgement and for help. He can't do that. He's shut the door for that because he thinks he's better. Who's that? I don't even know that, Vato. Guess what? You ain't got to know no one, puto. You know what I mean? You're going to see him before you know him. Orale. You know what I mean? And you're not going to like that. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, this Vato I feel has truly sold out to our people. I'm not going to sit here and say don't rock with them. If you like to watch his comedy, if you like to pay attention to what he's got going on, taco kid. I don't know. But one thing I do know is for sure is this is not my first interaction or watching him and having something to say about him. Because let me tell you, about 1.5 years ago what happened. I never put this out there, but I'm going to put it out there because the wind's blowing. About 1.5 years ago, I was in Vegas. And I was in Vegas with one of my homeboys from my barrio. Okay? We did a creep, hey, trip out. What do you meet me over here in Vegas? All right, to what degree of Vegas? You see that Vegas over there? We're going to go to Vegas. We're going to get a lot of money in Vegas. We're going to continue to get a lot of money in Vegas. We got broke in Vegas, but we went, right? And somewhere along the line, there was a little bolsita, and there was a little this and a little that going on. It was party time, I said. And my homeboy happens to know who, I'm not going to say he's on a personal friendship with George Lopez. He knows who he is. Okay, and I seen things unbecoming with this individual in the way he acted. Firsthand, you know, right, friend line status. I was right there. I seen it. And I was just like, wow, this guy is not who I really thought he was in real life. You look at people and because you see them on TV or even YouTube and you think they're some type of way, but you meet them in real life and they're really not that way. Let's just say that I was like, he's a poop butt, right? And that was just it. That was my first inkling of, man, I didn't want to be like him when I grew up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. But, you know what I mean? Orale, Jeffrey. And that was it. And then now he does this. You know, he comes out on this podcast and he's talking bad about the raza, basically, and disrespecting the youngster trying to come up. Now, I know they say, Gunner, you do the same thing. You don't care about the youngsters. No, I got love for the youngsters. All I'm giving them is harsh love. It's hard game. I want to see him do better than I did. This Vato don't want to see you do nada. I said he don't want to respect or represent the raza, period. With that being said, if you rock with him, you rock with him. If you don't, you rock with the real ones. You know what I mean? Because we rock with the Raiders. Orale. With that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose. At the end of the day, everything that you got coming to you will come to you if you help each other out. Your family, first and foremost, it all comes from in-house. and then everyone else around you, man. If you got it, give it. If you don't, well, then it's bedtime. You know what I mean? And like, you gotta work harder. If you like this, hit that like and subscribe. There's a notification bar right there. Like and subscribe and touch it. You'll get notified of everything I got going on. If you don't like me, if you, oh man, Devato's a hater. He's hating on George Lopez. He's hating, oh my God, right? Hit me with the thumbs down. Heaven's going to be the head that wears the crown. Guard! I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's Vivo de tres animales. My people. Raza. Bang, bang.